on this computer. Hello, friends and family. Thank you for pressing play. I've got my friend Matthew Karlin here joining me at the juice bar. Of course, you see behind me the Rossum Juice Bar in Bandon. And the first time I met Matthew was here in the Rossum Juice Bar in Bandon. He was traveling through, needed a place to just grab some good nutrition. That was the first time we met. Do you remember how long ago that was, Matthew? Thank you for joining me, first of all. But how long ago was that by chance?
A little bit over a year ago. Thanks for having me, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. But yeah, I think it was I want to guess August 2023. So
Okay.
about a year ago.
Time flies when you're having fun. So your story starts with traveling in, stopping in the juice bar, and then you invested in one of these machines behind me. How has that worked out for you?
I mean, I feel like it's been very life changing. It was very eye opening. It definitely took me by surprise. Was not expecting it. Never expecting to walk into the juice bar. I was just looking for a smoothie, and obviously it was meant to be, but yeah, now a whole new world, a whole new perspective has opened up to me, and yeah, that's all thanks to Kangen Water and the Bandon Juice Bar.
So I wear this shirt all the time. It says alcoholism is an addiction to consuming alkalized water. And I say that when you change the spelling, you change the perspective. And that's what you just mentioned because most of us know about alcoholism is kind of dark, it's destructive, it's damaging, but we don't know about changing the spelling. So I know that I'm addicted to consuming alkalized water. I mean, how do you feel?
Yeah, I would, again, I think like you said, words have like strong meaning. So yeah, I don't want to say addictive because people will, I think, also take that the wrong way. But yeah, I have not found another water that I have been inclined to drink, or another water that I've been inclined to drink full time, like Kangen water. And if I have the opportunity, if it's possible, I will always bring my Kate with me wherever I go or find Kangen water. But if it is not there, I will survive and I can drink other water too. And you don't have any symptoms of addiction. You just
Well, I
the
don't
other thing
know.
is that you may wish you had Kangen water still.
Yeah, I've been without my machine for about 2 weeks. One time was the longest time, and bottled water just did not cut it. And I was constantly wishing I had my machine with me. So you call it what it is. I don't disagree with you. I know words do have meaning, and I should be more careful with how I describe my love for this water, but it's a lifestyle. And when I separate myself from my water, my lifestyle, then I notice a drastic difference, especially when I go without. So we definitely don't want to go too long. The reason why I have you on tonight though is because we have a tendency to share the information. You know, when we feel inspired to share the water, it's most likely for a good reason. We're not we're not trying to just shove this down everybody's throat. However, that's all I want to do is just put it down my throat all the time. You know, I've got this bottle. This is what I keep my water in. I'm drinking this. So, although I don't want to shove anything down anybody's throat, I do want to promote the water. Do you find it difficult sometimes promoting this water to others, would you say?
Well, I would say that it's usually not hard to promote the water, because the water it's just water, and everybody drinks water. Everybody knows about water, um, and everybody. I think at this point, most people are aware of the importance of water to our existence, at some level. Everyone has their opinions about water, but we know that it's extremely important to our vitality, our life, and is really like the essence of our life. Um, but yeah, so promoting the water itself as water, no. I think that, like, as we're going to discuss today, when we start to, because this water machine, this ionizing water machine, and the other products that Magic offers, which are both also amazing, the spa, the shower, and the Ukon products. I think when we go down the business route, as I'm sure you're aware of too, and we start talking about, oh, well, this is also a business. I think that tends to start to bring up the potential roadblocks and the challenges, because I think two things. There's a lot of multi-level marketing information propaganda out there, feelings and sentiment. And then there's also a lot of uh, negative information or negative sentiment towards high ticket, towards expensive, towards whatever word you want to use, costly, a big investment. So
You
yeah,
did say, you
promoting
said
the water, no, but
high ticket, right? That's sort of like the where it's at, because most people don't realize what the difference between high ticket and low ticket. Those aren't common terms in the employment, because Robert Kiyosaki talks about the cash flow quadrant, and it's a four sections where you have employee, then you have employer, then you have business owner, and then investor. And most of us were very familiar with being an employee or an employer. And then there's the trade schools and the tradesmen who develop then they become self-employed. That's sort of popular, is to become self-employed, an electrician, a plumber, a contractor. These are all self-employed positions. But what about an investor? We know about real estate, and we know about Airbnbs and certain things, but what about investing in your water? That's, I think, where people start to get kind of hung up, is they don't see that a kitchen appliance can be an asset and an income generating asset. So there's a disconnection between what we're used to and then what we offer as Enagic distributors. So how do you bridge that gap for people who have not experienced this type of business model before?
um, what I would say is this. Like you said, investment is the best word. And first of all, it's an investment in yourself. So, when you, in order to, as you know, and maybe people are unaware of, but you know this well, you normally invest in this machine first, or many people first, as an investment for your health. So you're investing in your health. And with that, you also receive the opportunity to share that with others, your gain and benefits, and promote this health investment to others. And then that becomes a financial investment, a business investment, where you are paid to do that, or to continue expanding this health investment to others.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the way I see it, is that, like, you don't even really need ever to sell a machine, because once you buy a machine, you have made such a great investment, I feel, that you you already a winner. I don't know what better term to use. You are going to receive, you are going to profit.
Yeah.
Um, so you just have the opportunity to profit more. And I feel still in my heart, which is why I won't stop promoting the machine and the business, is that right now, I don't feel like there is a better way for us to handle, enhance, treat our municipal tap waters. And I don't think you can get a better water in any other way right now that is consistent, that is clean, that is working for people, that is helping people, and that we, at least in our own experience and the experience of so many others, seeing great results, seeing with our own eyes, experiencing with our own life, positive change. So yeah, I feel like that's how what I would say. And if you choose the business as well, and you choose to stick with it, and you choose to hold strong with it, um, you have the opportunity to make money and continue to help others at the same time.
Well, what everything that you just said is it's summed up is called return on investment, ROI. So as soon as you purchase your Kangen ionizer and you start drinking the water, you're receiving a return on your investment immediately. And then you use the beauty water to wash your hands and your face and your hair, and that's another return on investment. And then you go chemical free in your home and you remove the pesticides from your produce, and this is just compounding returns on investment. It's profit. But what we're not sort of realizing is that there's a lot of other things that we spend money on that we don't receive an immediate return on our investment sometimes. And in other cases, like let's just say a soda stream. A lot of people have the soda stream product where it puts CO2 carbonation into whatever, glass of whatever you have. And a lot of people, believe it or not, they put their Kangen water in their soda stream, and then they're wondering why they're not getting the anti-inflammatory return on investment. And I say because you're eliminating your return on your investment by injecting the CO2 into the water, you're removing your potential for profit. And when you think about it that way, most of us are not focusing on that kind of profit. So I have a distributor's presentation that I'm going to share, but before we do that, we need to put a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, and this is, based on our personal experience, everything that we've personally experienced, either firsthand or by sharing water with people that we know. However, the other thing too is I don't have a degree or any type of university credentials. Do you want to speak a little bit on what kind of experience you have and where you're coming from, or how do you feel about that?
Sure, yeah. Well, I've definitely done a lot of personal study and research on a lot of different health related topics, including water. I spent a lot of time in the water research world. And now I am currently enrolled as a naturopathic medical student. So in 4 years, theoretically, I should be and will be a doctor. Um, right now, still just a student, but um, yeah, I've definitely also done a lot of research and study around um, traditional Chinese medicine. I've also been in the space of holistic healing, energy healing, mind body practice. So Yeah, I've definitely experienced and also um, experimented with, researched many different things related to health and wellness. Um, so yeah, I feel like I have a firm foundation of
And then
which to speak on.
just so you know, my history and my experience is based on taking care of other people. I started out as an athletic trainer in high school. I was a student athletic trainer for the sports teams. And then I went into emergency medical response as an EMT, and I studied to be a paramedic. And then I wasn't taking care of myself though, even at that time. So I got out of emergency medicine, and I got into long-term care for elderly disabled with Alzheimer's and dementia. I opened up a care home where the people lived with me, and I took care of them full time, but I still didn't take care of myself. I neglected to care for myself, and I was eventually pouring from an empty cup, and I could no longer take care of people unless I started taking care of myself. And that is when someone shared Kangen water with me, and I started to notice the benefits with the 11.5, the laundry detergent water, because I was able to eliminate all of my harmful detergents from my care home. And once I figured out, like I need to share this with the world, but I never left my house. I only had the 5 people that I lived with and took care of. And so my aunt and we agreed to she had a care home also, and we closed our homes and we opened up the juice bar so we can take care of ourselves, and we focused all of that energy that we were giving to other people, we just put it back into ourselves. So we started to invest in ourselves, and Kangen water was the very first investment that we made, which led us to opening up this juice bar, which now I have the frequency therapy room right behind me where we do the different types of alternative healing practices, and we still have the water, and we make the juices and the smoothies out of the water. We make the ice out of the water. We're pesticide free because we remove all of the harmful oil-based pesticides. And my whole entire life has changed. No part of my life is the same as it was when I was running my care home. Everything is different. So I'm going to share my screen right now. We both have a lot of experience between the two of us. And at the end of the day, we are Kangen water distributors. And the company basically pays us a commission if we sell one of their products. And right here it says change your life by changing your water. And that was what I just described. My whole entire life has changed. And I'm not going to say that it's because of the water. I can't give it that much credit because I've done a lot of other things. For example, we opened a juice bar. There's a lot of fruit that comes through the juice bar. And I know that that has a lot to do with it too, but it's about absorption and nutrient, utilization. But to just give a little back history on the company, you mentioned Enagic is a privately held company based in Okinawa, Japan. And Okinawa, I'm pretty sure, is considered a blue zone. Do you have any information on the blue zones? This company was founded in 1974, and it's an original equipment manufacturer. So they don't outsource, they don't have any debt, and they've been around for 50 years. So, in relation to the blue zones and Okinawa, Japan, what have you learned about how this water might contribute in that way?
Are you asking me that question?
Yes, I am.
Uh,
Thank you.
Um, well, I mean, I definitely, know a good bit about the blue zone idea and what makes a blue zone and people living longer, and the ways in which they prioritize health. Um, So yeah, I know that in Okinawa is, I believe Okinawa is a blue zone. Japan has a pretty large blue zone, and Japan in general is has a life expectancy that is definitely in the top few countries in the world, especially industrialized countries. It's definitely near or at the top always.
So
Um,
this is our founder and the CEO of Enagic, and he's in his 80s. I want to say he's 87, maybe 88. And he looks like he can run circles around me, and I'm 35 years old. So, I mean, like, when we're talking blue zones, we're talking about the most people who have lived to be over 100 years old. That's what qualifies for a blue zone, is the most centurions. And he's almost 90 years old, this man. I'm guessing that his lifestyle has contributed to the slowing down of his aging process. But this quote says, with hard work and determination, the dreams of a young man have come to fruition. And with your help, those dreams are now changing the world. So he's got offices located all over the world, and they're a member of the Direct Selling Association. So most of us think we get objections all the time. People think that this is MLM. Nowhere here does it say multi-level marketing, but it does say Direct Selling Association. So I'd like to just clear up really quickly a little bit of misinformation that goes around about this company being MLM. And the reason is because it's network marketing. Not every network marketing company is MLM, but it seems like every MLM is network marketing. So this is direct sales, and it's worldwide. Our closest office is in Seattle. We're between Seattle and LA. There's Texas, which is the main distribution center. A lot of these machines are getting shipped out of Texas, but the original company is based out of Okinawa or Osaka, right here, this Osaka factory. And you can see there's a high concentration: Thailand, Taiwan, Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, Indonesia, India. This is the epicenter for where this water comes from. And then they migrated into the UK and into the United States and down to South America, 23 countries and 40 locations. And often I say, the reason why you haven't heard about this country is, or I'm sorry, this company, is because it's from a different country. And most of the companies here in America, I don't think the Japanese people are aware of a lot of what we have here in the States. So it's no wonder why a lot of the people here in the States have never heard of this company. And of course, these are all the certifications that Enagic has received over the 50 years that they've been in manufacturing these ionizers. They've received the Water Quality Association Gold Seal, which I've never seen this on any other water ionizer, and I have seen quite a few. A lot of people will bring in their old water ionizer and ask me if I can test it or if I can see if the water is still good. And I look at these off-brand machines and I try to see if they have the same certification as Enagic, and I never ever see any ISO certification. And these are standards, like certificates that you receive for high standards. One of them is for medical device manufacturing, and then of course for environmental management and quality control. And I've never seen any other ionizers with these ISO certifications. You can't buy these. These have to be assigned, or they're not something that you just pay for like a license. But right here we've got, you mentioned the Anespa, the home spa unit. This is a mineral ionization, whereas the ionizers are using an electrolysis ionization. So there's two different types of ionizing that you have to choose from. And with this company, they have the mineral rights to these hot springs in Japan, where the Japanese, medical association, how they handle their medical out there, they've already claimed that these hot springs have healing waters. And when this company mines the minerals from these hot springs and they put it in this shower spa unit, you're basically showering in the same healing waters that they have available in the hot springs of Japan. So unless you're able to go to Japan and actually try it firsthand, this might be the next best option for in-home mineral spa. And then the Kangen Ukon, and Ukon is Japanese for turmeric. They've used very high standards for growing their ukon, and of course they use the water to grow the ukon, and it's an organic supplement with a long list of other very helpful ingredients. So together, it's very common for people to say that this is called the trifecta, because you're helping your body heal itself with hydration, with your shower, because of course if you don't have a filter, your body becomes the filter. So showering in municipal water sometimes can be very risky. So to be able to filter and then ionize your shower's water is a tremendous benefit for your body's ability to heal itself, because chlorine is a very harmful carcinogen and it can wreak havoc on your immune system. It's also a hormone disruptor. And then turmeric is very well known for anti-inflammatory. Of course, there are other ingredients in here too, uh, different essential oils, different vitamins and nutrients for the body. And then, of course, we have a long product list that fits, different people's needs, from commercial to, single individual, to families and medical offices or other types of businesses. What are your experiences? I don't want to take the microphone for too long. I'll have you describe what you've learned about the three unique properties. So I'll pass the mic over to you and we can talk about antioxidation, hydration, and alkalinity. So why don't you go ahead and describe what we're seeing here in terms of oxidation and how Kangen water can help?
Yeah, well, obviously, this is, I guess, a classic slide that's used and seen in a lot of Kangen water presentations. Um, yeah, so the way it's being used is that oxidation, which will create rust, as you can see in quotations, to this apple, looks like it's being rusted, and this represents kind of living tissue in the body. And so when your body is in a state of decline, in a sense, your tissues or your organs are rusting. And that antioxidation and antioxidation potential, or the antioxidation potential of Kangen water, helps prevent your body from, again, using quotation marks, rusting. But in the sense that I think we can use the better word, which would be aging. So Kangen water is able to keep the waters of your body in a healthy state, or a healthier state, help maintain the water in your body in a healthier state to help your body stay healthy, and prevent oxidation, or prevent, again, quote unquote, rusting or aging. So your tissues, proteins, cells, all your organelles inside your organs, inside your cells, they all will continue to function at a higher level for a longer period of time. This is the goal, or what we believe is the greatest benefit of consistent Kangen water intake.
So I have a question.
And yeah,
I agree. This isn't the most scientific description here, but would you say that oxidation can also be defined as the loss of an electron?
um, well, I guess if you in chemistry, you do have redox reactions, in which you either gain electrons or lose electrons. And the gain of electrons is reduction, and the loss of electrons is oxidation. So, yes, and there definitely is a large movement towards the idea that um, negative charge is what is creating or able to generate health. And that negative charge does come from electrons, whether it be from water or, for example, from the earth, which is negatively charged. If our body's able to absorb that negative charge and then utilize that negative charge in the form of electrons, which it does, we do produce electrons other ways as well, from metabolism, from the breakdown of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. So yes, in that sense, it does mean that we are either gaining or losing electrons, and oxidation would be the loss, or
If our
the
water
loss in a specific reaction. Mhm.
if our water is electron rich and it can help facilitate superior hydration, then does that create like a domino effect in the right direction?
I would say that we can assume yes. That we can assume yes. That we can. You know, you need electrons to make ATP, as far as biochemistry understands. So, um, if electrons are what are needed to create ATP, and your water now is also providing you with electrons, well, it would seem logical that it's going to help your body, make it easier for your body to make ATP, which is known as uh, the most fundamental energy molecule of the cell, produced in the mitochondria.
That was
So,
question was how does it help with repair the mitochondria? So does it help repair or does it help produce?
well, I think both. Um, Repair, because so this is getting into a little bit deeper into what is known as structured water, but um, I think that the intake of Kangen water helps produce, or helps improve, the waters of your body. Now, the waters of your cell are not like the water of your tap. The waters of your cell are actually more viscous. And it's actually believed, and now is gaining a lot more acceptance, to be. We lost you.
I know. I love it. So I'm going to reshare the screen. There we go. You were talking about the viscosity of the waters in our body.
Yeah. So interior, inside the cell and around the cell, inside the body, the water is more like a gel. It's not in a pure liquid phase. It's actually more in a gel-like phase.
Mhm.
And honestly, my belief, or my best understanding, and what I feel is the most accurate in today's modern science, is that the deterioration of these gels and the deterioration of your intercellular water is what actually is the strongest indicator of disease.
Mhm.
So, Kangen water, I believe, will help improve that intercellular water. And when that intercellular water improves, the function of, again, your organelles, the mitochondria being an organelle, should improve. And so, therefore, it will improve the function of your mitochondria. And then it will also improve the ability for the mitochondria to generate ATP because, like you said, is providing a essentially a free currency of electrons, not necessarily free, you still have to drink it, but and it still has to be produced. But it seems like, again, I don't want to say that I'm stating things as facts. This is definitely still, like everything else, I think a very good theory. But it would seem like that, again, how the mitochondria works, we are able to get it's easier to get electrons into the electron transport chain within the mitochondria where the ultimate product is ATP, again, according to biochemistry. Um, so both, it will improve your mitochondria, I believe, and then it will also then help improve the production and the economy of production, I guess, if you will, of ATP. Because we do produce ATP and we do produce electrons, again, from the breakdown of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates, for example. So you don't need Kangen water to generate ATP, obviously, or to produce ATP. But I believe that it seems like it's a great friend, an added bonus, an extra helping hand that we all can utilize.
Well, what I say all the time is like you could build a house with a hammer and nails, but it's going to take a long time. You're going to have to really, be a skilled craftsman. And it would be a lot easier if you had power tools and a bunch of friends, similar to how you just said. So your body can heal itself no matter what. And even if you just have a hammer and a nails, it'll get the job done. But if you start investing in these tools that help your body heal itself better or, more efficiently, and that's why we have the juice bar and we have these Kangen water ionizers, because our body is primarily water. It's the number one most primary ingredient, water. And on the periodic table of elements, hydrogen is the number one in the number one slot. So it's the most abundant element in our environment is hydrogen. But to be dehydrated is to be separate from hydrogen. And so if our body is primarily water and we change the primary ingredient to a restructured hydrogen rich water, then that's most likely going to help change how our body is functioning. And it's going to be one way or the other. Not everybody experiences the same response when they start drinking Kangen water, but for the most part, everybody notices something. And it could be because of this picture that we're looking at. Our brain is primarily water, our lungs, our muscles, our heart, our skin, our kidneys. And of course, cellularly, it's even more of a percentage because at a cellular level, we're looking at over 90% water. So what about alkalinity? Because pH stands for the potential or power of hydrogen. And I just mentioned that hydrogen is the number one most abundant element in our environment. So our city tap water is pretty neutralized, and our blood is supposed to be like 7.3, 7.4, 7.5. Why are we drinking 9.5? Why would you say, in your opinion, why are we drinking 9.5 when our blood is supposed to be 7.3?
This is a tricky topic of discussion when you start going into alkalinity. There's a lot of opinions out there. I would say that we're drinking 9.5 because through ionization, you are separating the water into its fundamental parts, hydrogen and oxygen. And when you ionize at a certain level, what happens is there's a separation of charge, and the hydrogen ions end up going to one side more, and the hydroxyl ions end up going to the other side more. And this is the measurement of pH. So on one side, we end up with an alkaline pH, and on the other side, we end up with an acidic pH, which is why there's two hoses. And, I don't want to speculate on too much on the exact function of pH because honestly, I don't even think it's that important. The body tightly regulates pH. It's very good at it. The pH of different cells are different. Different organelles within the cell is different, and the body is far more intelligent than we could possibly understand. A
Right.
Kangen water between 8.5 and 9.5 is what's typically drank. And that's, just the way that a byproduct of the way it is produced. Now, in nature, the same thing happens when water goes through healing processes, like when it's struck by electricity, or when it's flowing down a waterfall, or when it's flowing out of a spring and into a stream. It's also alkaline. And there's other ways to alkalize it or make it alkaline, like the mineral content. So this is just a byproduct of what's happening I think, in my most honest perspective. And I feel like, personally, honestly, that it gets fixated on too much, and we fixate on that, but it doesn't need to be. And that, yeah, I think that there is definitely some correlation, and it makes total sense that drinking higher pH water is healthier. But I don't think that it's by any means the end all be all. And I think, actually, I wish that people would stop fixating on it so much, because honestly, I think it just is what it is. And yeah, I wouldn't drink 4.0 water, either. But yeah, that's my perspective on pH. I think that it's important. It's important that there's a reason why it is in that 8.5 to 9.5 range. It does mean something. But I think trying to break it down biologically and understand it, I think we're far from that, to really having concrete answers. But yeah, it's definitely, Kangen water is at 9.5 is a very, very high quality water.
So what happens when you introduce salt or like normal saline NaCl to the electrolysis process? Then what can we expect to happen?
With electrolysis and salt, with the saline solution, or more salt, you can get stronger ionization.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm leading into right now?
Yeah, yes, the 11.0 or higher water is extreme. It's amazing, and honestly, the 2.5 water is amazing. And I think it is important to talk about this, because, like, I think we had this discussion one time on the phone. It's like, hey, look, forget the drinking water even for a moment. Think about how many things you can do. And even before I got on this call, I was disinfecting my cutting board, with the 2.5, and disinfecting, my dishes. So yeah, extra ionization is amazing too because it helps us to produce these cleaning waters, as I know you're going to talk about.
Well, I wanted you to talk about them because I mean,
Yeah.
you're a wealth of knowledge. So we have the 7.0 and we have the 4.0 and the 6.0 and the 2.5, and we're talking about 11.0 or higher. And this machine, that we're talking about right here behind me, it produces 5 different types of water, and that's what's listed here in the presentation are the different types of water. And not all of them are meant for drinking. We've got the Kangen water that is meant for drinking, for to make coffee and tea and soups and what have you. But for most of the people, they don't even realize what else they're getting when they invest in this technology. And the beauty water is just so beneficial just by itself. And then we talk about the strong acidic for sanitizing and killing bacteria. And I always say that 2.5 kills and 11.5 heals, because even in just a foot soak, for the 11.5, you're getting a strong electron donation, and for the 2.5 is very strong oxidation. So how do you describe, I mean, did I describe that the same like you would, or what would you say?
Um, yeah, I would say this, like the 2.5, I would say, actually, I think the maybe like a little more scientifically, or I guess it would be there's a lot, it's filled with protons.
Mhm.
So there's a large proton source. And actually, protons are really important. Protons drive electrical gradients as well. So, um, yeah, it's really interesting. There's so much, like you said, and I think again, yeah, you don't really realize the potential of water when you just focus on drinking, because drinking water is where you start and is what really is the main focus when it comes to this machine, in the sense that, like, look, we hope that you drink the water and then experience those benefits. But yeah, outside of that, I mean, it's really quite impressive. I'm trying to think really quickly of a few examples. I mean, you brought up to me your little baby's diaper rash, and you said how I just sprayed his bum, with the 2.5, which is totally non-toxic. You can drink it. You're not supposed to drink it, but you can drink it. Obviously, you don't want to drink a gallon of it, but you can drink a few ounces of it. You're going to be okay. Although it is not, you're not able to promote that. Let's say from an addict perspective, they can't promote that. But I can attest and assure that a few ounces of it is totally fine. But like you said, you sprayed that on your baby's, is a few months old, bum, when he had diaper rash, and diaper rash gone, and the skin comes back very clean. I had recently, I had a little infection on one of my toes from a blister from running, and it eventually got a little bit infected because I wasn't taking care of it and continuing to run and sweat. And one day I woke up in the middle of the night while I was in like a dream state, and I just was like, it just was very obvious. Like I could feel my toe, and it was like, you need to, there's an infection here. You need to take care of this. Like, not that I was in any danger or anything like that, life threatening or anything, but that, look, there's this infection in your body. Do something. And so the next morning, I was like, okay, I got to stop being lazy. I got to soak my feet in the 2.5. I soaked my feet in the 2.5 one day, and I noticed extreme difference. 2 days, I felt like it was almost totally resolved. So soaking my feet for 15 minutes in that 2.5 was able to get rid of the swelling and the pus and the infection within 2 days of just two soaks. And then if you look at the 11.5, yeah, I mean, every fruit and vegetable that I get that can handle water gets soaked in it. and it hydrates it. It makes it taste better. It digests easier, and that's how I really got connected to Kangen water. Like you were saying, for you, I think it was also 11.5, and that's or higher than 11, because you guys at the juice bar were soaking all the fruit before making the smoothies in that water. And I couldn't, and you obviously were using Kangen water to make the smoothies too, but I couldn't pin before knowing about the Kangen water, why the smoothies at the juice bar were so easily digested by my stomach. It just felt like it was just able to, that it was just able to digest very easily. And these are some of the amazing benefits of having these other waters. And then the last one I'll just say quickly about the beauty water is give your plants this water for a few months and then report back to us. And my plants look great. And you can say what you want about, anything, but plants don't lie. And so I feel like when you see the effect of Kangen water and the beauty waters on your plants, it's just so obvious. And I feel like, again, yeah, it's in a sense it's not limitless, obviously, but there is so much potential, and I always am finding new ways to integrate it and use other waters as well. So it's an amazing product, and I think you said it best that one time where it's like, look, we don't even have to talk about the drinking water. We can just talk about the other waters and what they're capable of doing. And the product is worth that. The having ionization in your life is worth that. So you don't even have to drink the water if you were so against it, but to see all the value.
So I know you're popular on TikTok. You do a lot of posting your videos, Math Water World, and not everybody is as brave as you are. It takes a lot of courage to do those live videos, and put yourself out there and be vulnerable. Even what you're doing with me now in this recording is some people don't want to do that. They don't want to get in front of the camera, but um I want to share a video that I found, and I'll give a shout out to her. But do you mind if I share that little video of that water demonstration? Now would be a good time, I think. So I
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
this right here. It says the following is a live demonstration of the incredible properties of Kangen water. And of course I have my own videos that I've made personally. I could have done that, but I wanted to showcase this little miniature entrepreneur and how brave she is, because what she's doing here in this video, not everybody can do. So I'm going to press play, and then afterwards we'll talk a little bit about what we watch. Rain Mac.
My name is Rain Mac, and today I'll be showing you the first property of Kangen water alkalinity. An alkaline diet is known to be healthy. Eating raw fruit, vegetables, and drinking plenty of water can help your body balance its pH. And because your body is over 75% of water, it is important to not just drink water, but to drink the right kind of water. Here, let me show you why Kangen water is outstanding. I have a pH chart and a pH tester. This will tell me if the water is alkaline or acidic. Remember what I said? Alkaline is health and acid is sickness. Let's start the test. See that? All bottled water here is acidic. Tap water is neutral. Why? Because the government regulated it. So they put chlorine to kill the germs and lye, L-Y-E, to make sure their pipes won't rust. I don't think they care about our pipes, right? And see our Kangen water here. It's super purple, super alkaline, and it's very, very healthy. Now let's pretend you're acidic all your life and you start drinking Kangen water. Here's what's gonna happen. fast your body goes back to alkaline by just drinking Kangen water? This water is amazing. That's why people get more energy, they sleep better, and they gotta pee a lot because their body is getting clean and they're becoming healthy again. Now let's see with Perrier. This represents all sparkling bottled water. See that? Let's do it again. This water tries to trick you. It tries to pretend it's alkaline, but it can't. Now let's try with Gatorade. This represents all sports drink. Wow, it's so acidic. Now let's try 7-Up, which represents soda. See that? It's so acidic, it doesn't even budge. Now let's do it the other way. Let's pretend you're alkaline and you just want to sip up soda. Here's what's going to happen. See how fast your body goes back to acidic? Wow, just like that. Look at this chart. Health, sickness, one sip. And some people get a big gulp and they give it to their children. What? That's why I never ever drink soda, only Kangen water, the best water in the whole world. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helps you understand the importance of alkaline Kangen water and start drinking it. Get it for free. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Again, this is Ray Max saying, let's cheers to Kangen. Bye.
So I'm going to stop right there. The rest of the video is like a blooper reel where they just added on some spots where she made some mistakes. But I think she did a great job. You know, since you're a little bit more, you know, on the careful side with what you say and how you say it, is there anything that you would have done different or that you would have said different than her? How would you have done that?
Yeah, I think first of all, she's 10 years old, so I think she's doing the best she can, and she's doing a great job at that. So I don't think there's any need to criticize a 10-year-old for what she's doing. But I think that this is like what she's mimicking is a classic Kangen water demonstration. I mean, this is the Kangen water demonstration that I've seen just about everyone do in different ways, shapes, or form. And you're 100% right. Many people struggle to do it, and she does it really well. Is very charismatic and very clear and concise. Yeah, I think it's an oversimplification, of course, and I think that this is like it's true. What she's saying is true. There is a lot there that makes total sense. Yeah, I just think that I would just make that for myself, clear that at the end of the day, this is a simplification, and it's a demonstration. It's a quick demonstration to try to, I think, to bring awareness and then also to generate intrigue, and then to continue to deliver the understanding that, look, there's a difference between this water and these other waters, and there's a huge difference between this water and, for example, drinking carbonated water or soda, for example. And again, pH is a great indicator of this. Doesn't tell the whole story. It's not the end all be all, but it is a great indicator and should produce the intrigue needed to understand more and to dive deeper and to go further into, like, whoa, let's figure out, let's understand more about this. And let's really feel the difference, experience the difference here. Because yes, like, for example, soda has a very low pH, very acidic pH. And it makes sense that something with a rather high pH would be very healthy and something with a very low pH would not. And then looking at water, if our water is in the acidic range, it makes sense that that's probably not water we really want to be drinking all the time, compared to a water that's alkaline. Would make sense that we want to drink it. So I would say that, and and yeah, then I would say going just going from there is that, you know, to be mindful and to recognize that, like, look, this is not meant to be a end all be all demonstration. I think that it's just meant to be an invitation inward, and it's meant to be a creator of intrigue. Because I do feel like, as well, like, you know, me and you both as Kangen Water distributors, that many distributors promote it as like kind of an end all be all, or this is it. This is why you need Kangen water. And well, I'm not sure. You know, I just don't know. I think it gets that can get pushed too far. So I think it's really great. It's really important to know that demo, to be able to utilize and do that demo, and to show people that demo and other intricacies that you can get into and talk about within that. But I think it's really important, again, to just come back to the fact that, hey, look, drink the water, experience the water, experience it in your life, see what happens to you, see what happens to your plants, see what happens to, you know, whatever, your kids or your dog or your pets, and let's go from there. And then also there's many other dynamics and many other angles from which we can talk about this, and which we can explore this. So that would be my my point. And I think, as you're getting to now, I think maybe we can like wrap this section up, and then maybe next time we'll go like, let's do another video where we just go like right into the business model and business side of things. So I think you've given a great background, and we've given a lot of information to kind of like to soak in.
Yep.
And then let's do another one where we go.
So the next,
as we're getting to now,
we'll start
business
here into the enagic business. So these products, we've mentioned the words investment, and, you know, a lot of high ticket sales and network marketing. This is about the same price as a used car, like a low end used car. I mean, really.
right, a cheap used car.
But like what I often say is, what do you think would happen if I bought a Honda Civic, let's say like a 2012 Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla, right? But this particular Toyota, it was produced to make its own fuel. It produces its own fuel intentionally. So when you make your investment into this particular Toyota Corolla, you don't have to go to the gas station to get your fuel, because it produces its own. And we can't really fathom that. We talk about electric vehicles, but still you have to go to the charging station to plug in your car. And we don't have a vehicle that produces its own fuel on the market, except we have these Japanese medical grade Kangen water ionizers, which is a type of vehicle that does produce its own fuel. And you can invest at the same price point as a low end, you know, a cheap used Honda that doesn't produce its own fuel. And most people would say that that is a depreciating asset. A vehicle or a car of any kind is a depreciating asset in most cases. But what we say about these ionizers is that it's an income generating asset. And it's actually a multiple income generating asset, because the electron currency is one type of income. And then if you share the water, you have a potential to produce another type. So that's what we're going to talk about in our next time we meet. We have a video. Do you think anything that I just said in the last few minutes would be like inaccurate, or how, just to close it up, what can we look forward to next time? Talking about what would you say? How would you describe?
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a good analogy to, well, I think it's important to recognize that while it seems like a lot of money, yeah, there's so many investments in your life that you make that are way, way more money. And that, yeah, the used car analogy is a good one because honestly, like you said, it is a cheap used car. In 2024, a $5,000 used car is going to be pretty old. I don't know exactly, but probably 15 years old, maybe 10 years old at best. So yeah, I think that it's important for people to recognize that while it seems like a major dollar sign, it actually isn't in the grand scheme of things, and that we all have the capacity to make that choice. You can do it. You can invest in this machine, and there's so multiple ways in which you can do it, and make that choice and find a way to do it, which we can talk about next time. Like you said, I think that is important to talk about. And yeah, that it's an amazing choice if you do it, and you will experience a lot of benefit. You'll invest in yourself, like you said, um, using that term electron currency. Yeah, you will gain so much from it on a personal standpoint, and then I think, like you said too, you open up the possibility and potential to find an avenue to produce a monetary income stream as well. And I think the important thing to talk about in the next time too, and like you said, lead into, is that hey, it's okay to want that. And it's okay to believe that that's possible. And it's okay to share this water with the intent to profit. Because as you know, I think very well, we can talk about this next time too, I think, is that like we say, is like you haven't helped someone in this business until they buy a machine. You really haven't. And I really believe that because I've had many people come close and then for whatever reason walk away, and they've already experienced some benefits, and you just know, well, those benefits they are not going to receive anymore. And I am not helping them. And I wasn't able to help them. I wasn't able to help them make that change
Yeah.
for the betterment, for what I believe will be the betterment of their health and wellness.
And it's
So,
similar to the teach a man how to fish or give a man a fish. You know, you feed him for a day or you
a
feed him
rider,
a lifetime.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, thank you
yeah,
so
yeah.
much.
See, I think
Oh, go
no,
ahead. One
no,
last
no,
thing.
perfect. But no, yeah, perfect, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we can talk about it next time. I think leave some cliffhangers for some people who are finishing watching this video now and then want to watch the next one, and want to learn about not only the potential benefits for their health, but also for their finances, for their life, and also how how it can be a fun business, a lighthearted business, an enjoyable business, at least a friendship business, because I think all of us who have joined this business, we've all become friends. Like there's not one person that does this business that I know that I'm connected with through this that I'm also not, I don't feel is like a friend. So
Well,
I think that's important.
even your friend Aaron, who I just got to meet for the first time. I mean, I felt comfortable just giving her a big heart-to-heart hug. I knew she was a friend of mine because she's a friend of yours, you know, so it's a ripple effect. And even she's traveling with my friend Carlos, and now they're friends. So it's like, what's even going on here, you know? And it's an entrepreneurship. We've got friendships, we've got relationships. You know, there's there's a quote that says a rising tide lifts all ships, and a calm sea never made a skilled sailor. So if that doesn't describe what we're all doing out here, then you know we should be finding community, of like-minded entrepreneurs to help ourselves help each other, and that's what we're doing. So thank you for helping me help others. Where can my friends find you if they want to connect with you?
Um, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah, I guess we can put that in the description. Um,
So
yeah, I think that's the
Water
best
World.
place. Yeah, Matt's Waterworld on TikTok. I do more like inspirational videos and stuff like that right now, but which have been going really well, like you said. And I think eventually, yeah, want to make an Instagram channel about my experience as a naturopathic medical student. And yeah, so that's kind of upcoming. And then always willing to connect and communicate about and answer questions about Kangen water, because I feel it's really important to be a open book about it, to be willing to take on, as I think you are too, which I really admire, is willing to take on any of the questions and willing to answer them honestly, and then willing to engage in an honest conversation, that we are not traditional salesmen in that way. We are, like you said, just trying to build community, friendship. We're trying to build healthy community, healthy friendship, healthy relationship. And we're always like, and I think you do a really great job of this too, which I feel like you need to be commended for, is constantly looking for all the ways in which we can improve our health and wellness, all the ways in which we can improve our life, our spiritual growth, our health and longevity, family connection and community. And so we are open books about that too as well, and willing to talk and share honestly and have open, honest communication about the Kangen water experience and Magic products and the journey.
Well, the other thing I say is technically all water is a solution, but not all solutions involve water. So this is a solution for multiple reasons, and I like to play on the words. So we'll talk more about more, return on investment and business potential and blah 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 next time we meet. So thank you again for, your inspiration. You definitely are overflowing with living waters, I can tell. So thank you, Matthew. I'm gonna go ahead and press stop on the record, and soon we'll finish our video series. Thank you.